Chapter 31 Xiao Wu misses her mother, 6 updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Prince's mansion, Qian Renxue is also very angry right now. Hateful. It is true that like a teacher, like a disciple, Liena, you are unworthy of my reward this time. You are as stupid as that woman. That damn Tang San is already the sworn enemy of the spirit hall, how could you? After muttering this, Qian Renxue was immediately stunned. What did Su Chen say before? She didn't seem to be any better than Bibi Dong. Do not. I, Qian Renxue, am just soft-hearted, I don't have the brain for love. I am a woman who wants to have a career. However, Qian Renxue had forgotten that she was Bibi Dong's biological daughter, so how could that be any better? Love brain, genetics, the other side, Xiao Wu, who was on the road with Tang San, felt numb all over, sacrifice. Oh my god. He actually sacrificed himself to Tang San. Although she had gotten along very well with Tang San during those 6 years at Notting College, at this time, it was not the time to offer sacrifices. Coupled with the contents of Su Chen's diary, after Xiao Wu found out that the third brother was actually the third uncle, she fell in love with that brother and sister and obviously began to resist, 29-year-old weird uncle. How can this be as beautiful and innocent as before? There is no going back, of course. At this moment, Xiao Wu wanted to escape. She wanted to escape back to the Star Doe forest, she thought it was clear, and many more. Xiao Wu's heart suddenly trembled again. In the end, both the Ming dynasty and the Ming dynasty could not escape death. Even if I return to the Star Doe forest and don't come out now, in the future the woman from Wuhun Palace will also go into encircle and suppress me, as well as the Ming dynasty and the Ming dynasty. Damn it! Doesn't Sister Xiao Wu have a way out? Xiao Wu was filled with frustration. It is not difficult to see from the contents of the diary that she is really destined to die, and Ming Ming will also die. Doesn't this spirit beast have beast rights? Xiao Wu started thinking in her mind, is there a way not to die? Is there a way to save Ming and Ming? Is there a way? I didn't have a choice before, but now I want to be a good person. Su Chen. Xiao Wu suddenly thought that if there was anyone who had the strength and ability to save herself and save the Ming dynasty and the Ming dynasty, Su Chen was probably the only one. However, he didn't know Su Chen, and Su Chen had no reason to help him, and what's more. What if I take the initiative to go to him and beg him? What if he covets my soul ring? Perhaps. A person as powerful as Su Chen would not care about himself as a soul ring, but how could he help him? Xiao Wu felt that her rabbit life was hopeless for a moment. Under normal circumstances, she, the Ming and Ming would both die. Now that Bibi Dong and the others had a copy of the diary, wasn't it even more doomed? Mom, what should Xiao Wu do? This kid, when she came out to fall in love, she couldn't think of avenging her mother. Now that she knew she was going to die, she suddenly thought of her mother. However, a child is always a mother's treasure. In the darkness, Xiao Wu's mother, Baro, knelt on the ground and stared blankly at the contents of the diary. Xiao Wu, my child, you actually want to sacrifice for mankind, and Ming and the others. No. Su Chen, I beg you to write something. Let me see Xiao Wu's fate. Let Xiao Wu see her own fate. Save the child. If you can, I will always pray for you. Xiao Wu, my child. She cried in the endless darkness. No one knew where she was, let alone anyone who knew her existence or heard her voice. Sunset Forest. After Su Chen finished his diary, he followed Dugu Bo to speed up, and the 4 of them arrived outside the eyes of Binghuoliani. Dugu Bo stopped and looked at Su Chen with a smile on his face and said, "Boy, this is the ice and fire eye. Didn't you say you wanted to challenge me before? Then you should try it first. You can't get into this poisonous array." Dugu Bo knew that Su Chen was very powerful within his body, but that strength did not prove that he could withstand his own poison. Dugu Yan's face was a little speechless, and he said, "Grandpa, didn't you say before that it is impossible for anyone below the Soul Saint to resist this poison formation? Su Chen only has level 18 soul power, how can he enter your poisonous formation? Su Chen was a little helpless, looked at Dugu and replied. You're going to use this to test me? I really don't know how to complain. I said I can detoxify you, but what do you think you can do to me with this poison array? Dugu said calmly. Being able to detoxify our poison does not mean that you are not afraid of poison. If you can't enter this poison array, there is no need for you to compete with me. Su Chen nodded, indicating that Dugu was right, and then walked straight into the poisonous mist, standing inside and quietly looking outside. Dugu's expression was out of control. How is this possible? No way, absolutely impossible. Dugu's whole body felt bad, and his expression was undoubtedly as if he had eaten a big fly, because Su Chen not only did not use his soul power in the poisonous mist, but he also did not even use that strange power. This is too scary. Dugu also covered his mouth in shock and said in disbelief, Su Chen, you are still not a human being. How could you withstand these poisonous mist without using any force to resist? Ye Lingling also felt more and more shocked. This man was becoming more and more mysterious and powerful. Whose man is this? Hey! This is my man, it's okay. After Su Chen finished performing for Dugu, he walked out and said calmly. It's just a small trick, let's go in together. Shut up. Su Chen walked to Ye Lingling's side and took Ye Lingling's little hand. Powerful power instantly burst out from his body. 3 yuans returned to 1. A circular water cover enveloped the two of them, and they walked into the ice and fire eyes. Su Chen's 3-point return to the source was already powerful, and coupled with the 9 yang divine art's high poison resistance and the turtle breathing art, the poisonous mist was naturally unable to do anything to him. Dugu walked behind with his granddaughter, his face became more and more ugly, and he began to feel depressed, hateful. This little bastard is not afraid of poison. No wonder he wants to challenge himself. And why is his power shield so powerful? I'm afraid it will be difficult for him to break it. It's over now. The more Dugu thought about it, the more uncomfortable he felt. His most powerful skill was poison. Su Chen was not afraid of poison, and the 3 powers in his body could be fused, which was comparable to the strength of a tidal Douluo. The key is, this kid's moves are weird, they are all instantaneous, there is no need to activate the martial soul chanting spell or anything like that, it is impossible to guard against him. If you compete with him, you'll probably lose. At such an old age, I lost to an 18-year-old boy like him, and in front of my granddaughter, how could I accept this? The more Dugu thought about it, the more uncertain he became, and he immediately made a decision. No matter what Su Chen said, he would not give him a unit to measure his combat power. The transaction was not cost-effective at all. Chapter 32 Ice and Fire 2 In I Cultivation, 7 updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Eyes of Ice and Fire, quite beautiful, the scenery here. Su Chen could only say, fuck, it's so big. Half of it is made of volcanic crystals, and the other half is made of iceberg crystals. All kinds of exotic flowers and plants are shining brightly. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a dreamy wonderland. Su Chen looked at the ice and fire liani and saw that the mountain was filled with poisonous weeds or fairy grasses, and he was very satisfied. Many of them were still useful for his current strength. Dugu saw that Su Chen was a little moved and hurriedly reminded. You kid, please take it easy. Most of them are poisonous weeds. Don't move around if you don't know them. If you eat something bad, don't blame me for not warning you. Su Chen smiled, looked at Dugu and said, I know this better than you. I even know the origin of the ice and fire eyes. I may not recognize some of these poisonous weeds, but I know all the jelly grasses. Should we detoxify them first, or let me cut the grass first? Dugu replied calmly, it's up to you. You already know the place anyway. With your strength, I may not be able to deal with you. The initiative is no longer with me. Su Chen nodded slightly and began to say. The swallow's poison is actually quite simple. It's just poison in your body. I have 2 solutions. The first is chronic detoxification. Finally, you find a soul bone and force all the toxins in. Although this is slow, it will have little effect on your strength. The second is that I will dissolve the toxins in your body. This is faster and better. But you are a poisoner after all, and weakening your poison will have a certain impact on your strength. This. Dugu fell into silence after hearing this. He is not very strong to begin with, but if his poison is weakened, he will really fall behind. Shouldn't the old enemy Zhu Hua torture him to death? Dugu Yen looked at Su Chen and asked. Then what do you think Grandpa should do? Dugu Bo also looked at Su Chen. Su Chen thought for a while and replied. I think the second option is the best. Senior Dugu, you are not very old now. Well, although you are over 80, you can live for at least a few hundred years as a titled Douluo. You are still young, and you will have a bigger stage in the future. I will detoxify your body, and I will help you regulate your meridians, and I will find you a fairy grass in a while. It will definitely not be a big problem to reach level 95 or 6 in the future. Really? Dugu Bo became excited instantly. Su Chen nodded slightly and said, okay, since you have decided, let's get started and sit down first. Dugu Bo sat cross-legged on the ground and asked. What do you need me to do? Su Chen sat down behind Dugu Bo and said, just relax, I will use my energy to help you dissolve the poison in your body. After saying that, Su Chen slapped Dugu Bo on the back with both palms, and the terrifying 100-year-old internal force turned into the most powerful 9 yang skills and traveled throughout Dugu Bo's body. Dugu Bo felt the power in his body, and he couldn't help but be surprised. This little bastard actually still has a masculine energy in his body. Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling waited quietly. Hey! Lingling, look at my grandpa smoking. Just as Ye Lingling was about to speak, Su Chen transmitted a voice into the secret, and the voice fell into the minds of the two of them. Stay away, the white smoke is poisonous. After hearing this, the two of them hurriedly retreated away, and they couldn't help but be shocked. What was going on with Su Chen? The copy of the diary remains untouched. He didn't speak either, so why did his voice come into our minds? 3 hours later, the poison in Dugu Bo's body has been resolved. Su Chen stopped his hands, sat cross-legged, and began to adjust his breathing. Titled Douluo is really powerful, thanks to the blue buff of 9 yang divine art, otherwise he would be withered after this wave of poison. Dugu Bo stood up and felt more relaxed than ever before. When he was about to do something, he saw Su Chen still sitting there, so he endured it and stood quietly waiting. Shortly after, Su Chen slowly exhaled and muttered, fantasy is fantasy after all, even if it's the floor, it's still not a joke. When Dugu Bo saw Su Chen stopped, he quickly asked. How's the little guy doing? It's not a big problem. Su Chen replied, then stood up and said, the poison in your body has been resolved. Next, I will go cut the grass. Dugu Bo nodded and looked at Su Chen with complicated eyes. He couldn't help but feel awe in his heart. This kid is really a monster. Such a powerful power output can actually last for 3 hours, as if it is an unlimited output machine. How terrifying. Next, Fragrance Chilua, the strange velvet Tongtian chrysanthemum, 8-petal fairy orchid. Su Chen was not angry with Dugu Bo. After spending so much effort to transform the poison, the entire Binghuo Liangyi eyes harvested all the jelly grass and poisonous weeds and put them into the space ring. Who knows if the little bastard will come again in the future. In short, in the past few decades, he didn't even want to have a hair. Dugu Bo's expression was rigid and he said with a complex expression. You really mean what you say? You said you wanted to cut them all away, but you didn't leave even a blade of grass for me. You didn't even let go of some common poisonous weeds. After Su Chen collected the last remaining octagonal ice grass and fierce apricot, he said with a light smile on his face. I'm afraid if I don't take it away, sooner or later you will be robbed, so it's better to benefit others than to benefit me. At least I can give you something to keep for Dugu Yen. Shut up. Su Chen took out the 9th grade purple Yishi from the space ring and explained. This is the 9th grade purple Yishi, which has the effect of strengthening the root and strengthening the vitality, replenishing qi and increasing energy, and driving away impurities from the body. That loser on the mainland who copied the top 10 martial souls. His soul power cannot break through level 30 in his lifetime, but as long as he takes this 9th grade purple Ji, he can break through the limit. Dugu Bo looked strange and said, so magical. I have never discovered it before. Su Chen also shook his head helplessly, what can you find? If you could find something casually, wouldn't you have given it to your granddaughter earlier? Su Chen thought of this, looked at Dugu Yen and said, Yenzi, after I help you detoxify tomorrow, I will help you choose a fairy grass. Yeah. Dugu Yen nodded, but there was no problem. Su Chen flew up in the air and used his internal power to inhale the star anise ice grass and Liehua Xingjiashu into his hands. After taking them together, he took off his clothes directly, Ye Lingling. Dugu Yen. The next moment, Su Chen fell into the ice and fire spring. Damn it. Dugu Bo was instantly shocked, how dare you? You are in danger there. Obviously, Su Chen didn't have any problems. As if he was soaking in a hot spring, Dugu Bo realized that he had been worrying too much. After all, this boy knew a lot more than he did and would not do anything reckless. Cool, Su Chen dug deep inside and said, one side is cold and the other side is hot. No wonder the big guys like to play with the two worlds of ice and fire. It is indeed an extraordinary enjoyment. Dugu Bo shook his head and was too lazy to say anything else. He took the 9th grade purple Ji and started practicing. Ye Lingling and Dugu Yen were still worried about Su Chen, but now they were relieved to see that Su Chen was fine. At the same time, the scene that Su Chen had just seen popped up in their minds. What a big lump. Ah, how embarrassing. Chapter 33 Rewards for Life in Exchange, 8 Updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This night, Su Chen practiced in the Eye of Ice and Fire. This treasure place itself has a great increase in cultivation, and he also took the star anise ice grass and fiery apricot jiaoshu. The next step will not only improve his soul power, but also greatly enhance his physical fitness and three-dimensional skills. Dugu Bo is also practicing. As for Ye Lingling and Dugu Yen, they set up a tent and waited for rewards every day. Drop. Diary, recording a wonderful time travel life. Reward distribution. Congratulations to the host for receiving the reward. The lifespan of all soul rings has been increased by 1,000 years. Congratulations to the host for receiving a random reward, a God-given soul ring. During the training, Su Chen was very satisfied when he saw the rewards in the diary. It happened that the 2 fairy herbs he took this time raised his level to level 20, the soul ring came at the right time, but don't rush to absorb it. After you finish practicing tonight and improve your strength, you can absorb it for at least 20,000 more years. In the tent, Ye Lingling and Dugu Yen quietly waited for the dungeon rewards to be distributed. Their names only appeared once yesterday, and there were quite a few people who showed up yesterday. The two didn't have much hope. Dungeon reward distribution. Congratulations to Liena, whose name was mentioned the most in the diary and received a reward. 1,000 years added to the lifespan of all soul rings. Congratulations to Qian Renxue, her name was randomly selected in the diary and she received a random reward, her soul power increased by 1 level. Congratulations to Xiao Wu, you have become a lucky viewer and can customize the theme of the diary once. This is what Ye Lingling and Dugu Yen thought. Sure enough, their names only appeared once, so they were not drawn. Dugu Yen thought for a while and said, Lingling, how about we confess directly to Su Chen and tell him that we have a copy of the diary and let him write more about us? Hearing this, Ye Lingling looked a little complicated and said. I also think, just looking at Su Chen's situation, Liena and Bibi Dong didn't tell him, but we told him, but it wasn't very good. Of course, this is beneficial to you and harmless to me, but if I tell Su Chen, I may endanger Liena, Bibi Dong and the others. Dugu Yen was a little confused. Why can't I understand what you are saying? Ye Lingling thought for a while and explained simply. Liena and the others didn't tell Su Chen because they were afraid that Su Chen wouldn't write some secrets in his diary after learning about it. These secrets will be of great help to their Wuhun Palace. If we tell Su Chen, the master and disciple of Wuhun Palace Love Brain will definitely hate us. Although Su Chen is mysterious and powerful, how powerful is Wuhun Palace? Finally, if Su Chen knows the copy of the diary, he will definitely only write the names of people related to him, such as me and Liena. Dugu Yen nodded thoughtfully and muttered. Lingling, you are still smart, but, if you told Su Chen, then I think you would get rewards every day. Why didn't you think of telling Su Chen? A helpless smile appeared on Ye Lingling's face. I think so too, but I am my second girlfriend. Since Liena chooses not to say anything, of course I can't go against her. After all, she is my sister, how could I offend her before we even met her? Dugu Yen pouted with a sour face. No matter how I look at the corners of your mouth, I can't help but curl up with pride. Ye Lingling hugged Dugu Yan's water snake waist and said with a smile. Swallow, are you envious? Listen to me, what's the use of just envying others? We have to take action ourselves. Do you think I'm right, third sister? What? Dugu Yen was completely stunned. How can you still help your husband pick up girls? Prince's mansion, Qian Renxue was also happy. Well done Nana. I didn't expect that while helping you get rewards, you could also bring me with you, and many more. How I was brought along was because of that woman's partiality, which made Su Chen unable to help but complain one after another. Qian Renxue was a little bit dumbfounded. It was not easy to get this level of soul power. Nearly 10 years of sadness, okay. Fire dance is another new name. Qian Renxue frowned and began to recall in her mind that as the crown prince of the Tiando Empire, she would naturally know about the geniuses of Blazing Fire Academy. It seems that there are many people who have copies of the diary, and the competition is getting stronger and stronger. This is not Blazing Academy. After being the fire dance of the melon-eating crowd for a long time, I jumped up from the bed happily. Is it finally my turn this time? Ha ha ha. Huo Wu danced happily, and a pair of C's almost jumped out of her head. What to write about? Huo Wu, who was wearing thin pajamas, began to walk around the room with her long legs, thinking about what she wanted to know. Yes. Huo Wu suddenly relaxed his brows and murmured happily, what can I ask? Of course I want him to write more about me and get the soul ring reward. After saying this, Huo Wu happily threw himself on the bed, and began to imagine excitedly that his soul ring would be all purple. It was really cool. Wuhuan Branch Hall, Liena was not happy at all when she saw the award. In exchange for your life. Qian Renxue, I really thank you for the reward. How can I explain it to your mother now? Hey. Liena sighed and couldn't help but wonder, what is this little villain Su Chen doing? Could he be sleeping with Ye Lingling in his arms? Woo. Su Chen, you bastard, I hate you. Wuhuan Temple, the Pope's palace. Although Master Bai did not receive a reward today, she was still very happy because the two people who received the reward were both her daughters. Just as Bibi Dong was about to fall asleep, a voice came from outside. His Majesty the Pope, are you asleep? Bibi Dong sat up and heard that the person outside was her subordinate Ling Yuan Douluo, and felt a little puzzled. What's the point of coming to see me so late? And many more. Bibi Dong understood immediately. If nothing else, this Ling Yuan must be one of the people who has a copy of the diary. This old six. It seems that she discovered that Huo Wu came out again, and knew that sooner or later she would not be able to hide it, so she would come and confess to herself. Come in. As Bibi Dong's voice fell, a plump and charming mature woman walked in and closed the door. His Majesty the Pope. Bibi Dong's face was calm, without the usual cold and noble look, and she said calmly. Come forward and talk. After hearing the words, Ling Yuan walked forward and stopped in front of Bibi Dong who was sitting next to the stool. Sit. Bibi Dong spoke calmly. Ling Yuan was a little flattered. Obviously, she very much agreed with Su Chen's evaluation, and Bibi Dong was a crazy critic, strong and ruthless. Although it is inappropriate to think about her immediate superior like this, this is indeed the feeling Bibi Dong gives people. She even defeated the previous pope. Oh my god, it's so scary. It's not like people just want to be written in the diary by little brother Su Chen. Chapter 34. Something is wrong with Bibi Dong. 9 updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ling Yuan sat down next to Bibi Dong and said sincerely. His Majesty the Pope, I confess to you that I am actually one of the owners of a copy of the diary. Bibi Dong pretended to be surprised and said. Really? Elder Ling Yuan, if that's the case, why didn't you say it in advance? Why did you say it now? Ling Yuan is a little depressed. His Majesty, do you want to hear the truth? Bibi Dong replied calmly, tell me lies first. I want to hear lies. Ling Yuan replied. It's because of selfishness, I don't want to be exposed. Bibi Dong nodded, what about the truth? Ling Yuan looked at Bibi Dong for a while, but still didn't dare to say anything. Bibi Dong directly promised, just say it, I won't be angry, let alone blame you. It is good. Ling Yuan took a deep breath and said. When I originally found out about the copy of the diary, I wasn't sure if you had it, so naturally I couldn't tell you. When I confirmed that you had a copy of the diary, the young master made you the subject the next day. After I learned everything, I didn't dare to say anything. Nowadays, more and more people have copies of the diary. I know that I can't hide it. I also know that many people have seen the secret I saw. Okay. This is indeed the sixth person who peeks at the screen. Bibi Dong was also very angry, her biggest secret had been known, and I also learned about the stupid things I did. Bibi Dong can already fully imagine that her subordinate has completely labeled herself in her heart, crazy batch, love brain, white-eyed wolf, blind Douluo, Su Chen, you bastard. Bibi Dong became more and more angry as she thought about it, and finally hid her emotions, looked at Ling Yuan and said. You may not believe it, but after having a copy of the diary, I am no longer affected by the evil thoughts of the Rakshasa god. I'm back to normal. Ling Yuan hurriedly expressed her position. His Majesty the Pope, Ling Yuan will be your most capable assistant at any time and is willing to go through fire and water for you, even to the death. Sister, you don't have to explain to me, no matter what kind of crazy critic you are my Pope. Bibi Dong's face turned dark, and she said in a deep voice. This scumbag Yu Xiaogang ruined my life and my spirit hall. I will not let him go in the future. I will also kill that Tang San. I'm sorry for Shuer these years. Ling Yuan lowered her head and remained silent, thinking, Sister, why are you telling me this? You just need to believe me and believe that I am yours. Bibi Dong frowned. You do not believe. No, I believe it. I believe His Majesty the Pope. Ling Yuan hurriedly expressed her position, I believe you. The contents of Su Chen's diary are different from yours. Who do you think I should believe? Bibi Dong rubbed her forehead. She knew that Ling Yuan still didn't believe her, and she felt helpless. Ling Yuan, I am telling you this seriously. Haven't you noticed that your mind suddenly became clearer after you had a copy of the diary? Awkward, Ling Yuan doesn't know how to answer. I'm not a crazy person in love, and I don't have obsessions. Can I understand these things? Bibi Dong shook his head and said. Never mind. You won't believe me even if I explain to you. I have a plan here, and it just so happens that you are the most suitable to do it. Next, I want you to find those who have copies of the diary and invite everyone to our Wuhun city. You have also seen how mysterious and powerful the copy of Su Chen's diary is. Nana is now a level 60 soul emperor and possesses 200,000-year soul rings and soul bones. These people cannot become the enemies of our spirit hall. After hearing this, Ling Yuan stood up quickly and said. Your Majesty, why bother? If you don't want to join the spirit hall, just kill him. Bibi Dong looked solemn and said. Have you not noticed that everyone who has a copy of the diary has a special characteristic? Ling Yuan looked puzzled and said. Special? No, I didn't find it. Bibi Dong said. I have thought about this question. People who have copies of diaries have one characteristic, beautiful women. Su Chen knows everything about the mainland. We can't guarantee whether he has a crush on any woman. If we blindly kill her, it won't be worthwhile to arouse his disgust. And I just told you that the copy of the diary can purify the evil thoughts of the Rakshasa god, which shows that it itself has certain protective capabilities. Ling Yuan was a little confused. What a mess. But yes, the people who have copies of the diary are all beautiful women, and their ages vary, so. Bibi Dong continued. You don't have to think so much. You go look for them and tell them that Su Chen will return to Wuhun City later. They are hiding in the corner. When can they get the reward? If you want to improve your strength, come to Wuhun City. If you want 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone, come to Wuhun City. If you want to become a god, come to Wuhun City. Remember to have a better attitude and invite them in my name to our offline friend gathering. Cough. Ling Yuan felt like her head was buzzing. Sister, with such a weird brain circuit, do you think you are not crazy? Is this what normal people think of? The next day, Eyes of Ice and Fire, Su Chen flew out from inside, and he was in a particularly good mood. His body had strengthened his immunity to ice and fire, and his resistance to poison hit a new high. The power within the body has also undergone a change, and now the title Douluo is 100% sure of it. What? Dugu Yen came out of the tent just now and saw a big lump, and couldn't help but scream. Ye Lingling also blushed and covered her eyes. Su Chen felt numb, quickly took out the clothes from the space ring and put them on, looking embarrassed and said. Please believe me, I really don't have any special hobbies. With the Eyes of Ice and Fire, Su Chen took off his clothes when he went in, because in reality, all the clothes must be destroyed in a place like this. When he came out, he didn't even have time to absorb the soul ring, so he didn't have time to think about clothes. Dugu stepped forward and said with a straight face. Su Chen. You are so unreasonable that you actually made my granddaughter look down on you. If you don't give me an explanation today, I will never be done with you. Su Chen. Lao Deng, do you want to listen to what you are saying? It's me who has been exposed. Dugu touched his nose awkwardly and said, same, forget it, you can detoxify Yen first. Su Chen looked at Dugu strangely, this Lao Deng, he has thoughts about himself. Swallow, come on. Dugu Yen walked over with a red face, sat on the ground, and waited for Su Chen to take action. However, Su Chen hesitated. This. Dugu looked suspicious and said. Didn't you say yesterday that it was easy to detoxify Yen? Why are you hesitating now? Su Chen looked a little ugly and said in a deep voice, first of all, let me explain. Although I, Su Chen, am not a good person and I also like beautiful women, a gentleman loves beauty in a proper way. Then I ask weakly, have you read martial arts novels? Chapter 35 I really don't want to eat beef this time, more. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dugu shook his head, Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling also shook their heads. They knew about storytellers, but they had never heard of martial arts novels. Su Chen felt a little embarrassed at the moment. If you haven't read martial arts novels, then you definitely don't know about Zhang Wuji. Then you definitely don't know that helping a woman heal and detoxify requires taking off her clothes. Then you guys must think I'm a pervert. I wipe. Su Chen thought about it for a long time, but fortunately he had learned about it before. He explained. You should have been able to feel it when I transformed the poison yesterday. The power I used was the most yang and the most strong force. Women's bodies are more negative, so the yang energy cannot escape and accumulate in the female body, which may be life-threatening. Second, scientific research has proven that women's fat is much thicker than men's. Most of this fat is stored under the skin, covering the meridians, which greatly hinders the healing of injuries. Women's subcutaneous fat is thick and the energy conduction efficiency is low. If another layer of clothing is added, the energy conduction efficiency will be even lower, which will seriously affect the movement and healing. In the end, we concluded from the above 2 points that when performing exercises to heal injuries of women, they must take off their clothes. If they do not take off their clothes, there will be great danger. After saying this, Su Chen added in his mind, third, when treating a man's injuries, taking off his clothes will look weird. Fourth, the plot requires it. Dugu Bo had strange eyes, looking up and down at Su Chen, trying to find flaws in him, but he was actually so serious. Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling were immediately numb, and this operation. Dugu Yan was in a complicated mood and whispered to Ye Lingling, "Lingling, what should I do?" Ye Lingling smiled at Dugu Yan, and then shouted to Su Chen. Su Chen, Yanzi agreed. "Come to the tent to help her detoxify, Dugu Yan. Let's go, swallow." Ye Lingling took Dugu Yan's hand and pulled her directly back to the tent. "Lingling, I." Ye Lingling looked at Dugu Yan's face turned red and couldn't speak, and said calmly. "It's hard for you to make a decision, but you have to detoxify, so I'll help you make this decision, so you don't have to worry about it. Come on, drag your clothes." Dugu Yan remained silent, enjoying the treatment of a young lady and letting Ye Lingling help her take off her clothes. "Okay, just sit here and close your eyes. Don't think about anything." After Ye Lingling finished speaking, he walked out and said to Su Chen, "Go in and help her detoxify." Su Chen touched Ye Lingling's head and turned to look at Dugu Bo. The old man seemed quite happy, so he walked in without saying anything. The tent was filled with spring light. Although Dugu Yan has her back to Su Chen, she is very talented and can still see the mountains from the side and the peaks from the side. "I am coming." Dugu Yan's shy mind went blank and he casually replied, "Well, come on." Su Chen sat cross-legged, put his hands on Dugu Yan's back, and began to input Zhuyang's internal energy. "What?" Shortly after, Su Chen put his hands away and stood up and said, "I'm fine." Just now, Dugu Yan felt that her whole body was filled with warmth, and a strange force rushed through her body. Now when she heard Su Chen's words, she couldn't help but ask. "So fast, Su Chen?" "That first time, I mean you are young and don't have much toxins in your body." "With my power, it was quickly resolved." After Su Chen finished speaking, he ran out in embarrassment. "Such damn words." Dugu Bo saw Su Chen coming out and asked, "So fast?" Su Chen was speechless for a moment. "I'm going to gather the second soul ring first. You guys will wait for me later. Let's leave together." Su Chen jumped up and sat down on the ice crystal, and began to extract his God-given soul ring. Dugu Bo shook his head secretly, and when he saw his granddaughter coming out, he said casually, Yen, you need to grasp the opportunities in your life by yourself. If you miss it, you will regret it for the rest of your life." Dugu Yan lowered his head and said nothing, and understood what his grandfather was talking about. Dugu Bo continued. "You are also well informed in the Tiando Empire. Every powerful soul master or noble has more than one wife in his family. To put it aside, that boy from your college named Yu Tianheng has been chasing you. As the direct heir of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family, do you think he will only marry you? Even if he is willing, his family will not be willing. Our family doesn't need you to get married. Just choose your own happiness boldly. Grandpa will always support you no matter what you do." Dugu Bo had absolutely no choice. Su Chen was so amazing in terms of strength, appearance, and temperament. After his granddaughter saw the beautiful jade, she could no longer look at the rubble. There was a moment of silence. Suddenly, a red light illuminates the entire ice and fire eye. However, there was a red halo on Su Chen's head, which was the standard configuration for those who started in 100,000 years. A bunch of question marks popped up in Dugu Bo's mind. Just now, Su Chen said he wanted to practice soul rings, but he didn't understand what was going on. Now 100,000-year soul ring suddenly appears. Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling also looked at each other in shock. 100,000-year soul ring. That it was the first time in their lives that they met. This red light is so beautiful. For a moment, the two of them couldn't help but think of Liena, that unlucky woman. She had already gotten two. Above, the age of the soul ring was limited to 180,000 years. Su Chen finally absorbed it, and the soul ring configuration on his body was purple. Purple is outrageous. Hey, Su Chen thought that maybe this first soul ring actually had a meaning. Its purple light seemed to remind Su Chen that Ai Kun was always there. The sky and the earth were dark. Dugu Bo and the others looked up. In addition to the eye-catching red 100,000-year-old soul ring, there was also a huge kunpeng floating above Su Chen's head, covering the sky and the sun. What kind of martial spirit is this? Dugu Yen looked shocked and said, Grandpa, have you never seen such a big martial spirit? Dugu Bo was shocked and said. Under normal circumstances, it is already much larger than all the martial souls. How could Grandpa have seen such a huge martial soul? Swish! Su Chen released his soul skill, and wings suddenly appeared from his back and flew in front of the three of them. His mood suddenly became complicated. It's over, I have a way to die. Do Chi turns into wings. My only shortcoming is that I can't fly. I really don't want to eat beef this time. So fast. Dugu Bo was startled. Originally, Su Chen's power was weird and his speed was already terrifying. Now that he has gained the flying ability of 100,000-year soul skill, this speed is probably, and many more. Dugu Bo frowned and asked. What's your expression? It seems you are dissatisfied with the 100,000-year soul ring. Su Chen shook his head slightly and sighed. I have such strength at a young age, and now these wings give me extremely fast speed, which will make my mentality expand. Dugu Bo's expression was out of control. In all my life, I have never seen you be so good at pretending. I really want to kill you with a hammer. The 10th update has been delivered. Brothers who recommend monthly tickets to Xia Honghua, please come and reward me. Chapter 36 Challenge Dugu Bo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Chen looked at Dugu Bo's expression of wanting to hit someone and asked. If you have been immersed for 18 years and one day suddenly become a titled Douluo, do you dare to say that you can't do it? Talented people have emerged from generation to generation, and each has led the way for hundreds of years. Geniuses are born every year, and only those who can survive are counted. It is clear, Dugu Bo thought Su Chen was faking, and Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling also thought he was faking, but Su Chen didn't think he was pretending. He didn't pretend. Without strength, he can be submissive, able to keep his composure, and eat beef he doesn't like, but as your strength becomes stronger, your mentality will also change. If you have the strength of the people of the motherland, you dare to charge at the crescent moon. Dugu Bo couldn't help but said. You are not weak anymore, and your second soul ring is 100,000 years old. When you reach the title of Douluo, who can be your opponent? And your soul skills fly so fast, who can catch up with you? Su Chen shook his head and said nothing more. I can tell you, after I learned about the speed of this soul skill, my first thought was to go to the spirit hall to tease Bibi Dong, and then go to Poseidon Island to kick Bo Saishi's ass. Although the idea is very evil, I really want to play it. I couldn't fly before and knew what I could and couldn't do. Now I dare to do anything. Dugu Bo didn't bother to talk about it anymore and asked, first of all, answer my curiosity. What is your martial spirit? Where did you get your 100,000-year soul ring? Su Chen calmed down and slowly said. My martial soul is a chicken, which later mutated into kunpeng. My soul ring is a God-given soul ring. According to my current strength, the maximum absorption period is. I see. Dugu Bo said thoughtfully. God-given soul rings, and the spirit hall enshrines the angel god, so your current strength is 100,000 years old, corresponding to a 90-level title Douluo. 180,000 years, about level 94. Su Chen added, Dugu Bo is autistic. Originally, he was planning to pretend, detoxifying his meridians and taking jelly grass. With the soul power he accumulated over the years, he has now reached level 93. He hasn't even started pretending yet. The spellcasting was directly interrupted. Grandma Lee's. Dugu Yen looked surprised and said, wow. You are actually at level 94. My grandfather is only level 92. Cough cough. Dugu Bo hurriedly added, I am now level 93. Originally, he was waiting for his granddaughter to praise him, but Dugu Yen just said congratulations, Grandpa, and set his sights on Su Chen. Su Chen took out 2 fairy grasses from the space ring, looked at Dugu Yen and said. Swallow, this is an 8-petal fairy orchid. It has soft and mellow medicinal properties and is easy to absorb. It can strengthen the body and eliminate impurities in the body. If you take this fairy grass, you will definitely become a titled Douluo in the future. There will definitely be no big problem. Dugu Yen nodded excitedly. Su Chen gave the fairy grass to Dugu Yen to take, then looked at Ye Lingling and said. This is the Qilua tulip, together with the 8-petal immortal orchid or a pair of mandarin duck immortal grass. Taking it can absorb the essence of the world and the light of the sun and the moon. If you absorb it, you may be able to break the restrictions of the 9-hearted Begonia. Ye Lingling's heart suddenly trembled. This gift was too expensive, she didn't know if she could accept it. Don't think too much, just think of it as my bride price for marrying you, and I'll teach you how to absorb it. Su Chen said, stepped forward and handed the fairy grass to her, and taught her how to take it. Qilua tulip cannot be swallowed, you need to gently suck the pistil, and slowly absorb the essence, and then practice your soul power and walk slowly, let the effects of the medicine spread throughout your limbs and bones. After Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling finished absorbing the fairy grass and practicing, Su Chen stepped aside and waited quietly with Dugu Bo. Dugu Bo felt sour when he thought about it, he was really a waste. Putting the fairy grass in his hand, he didn't recognize it at all and couldn't use it. Hey! Su Chen heard Dugu Bo sigh, turned his head and looked at it, and said calmly. Everyone can only take one strain of grass jelly, and this place is very special. I just cut the grass, but the roots are still there. You can still cut it in 100 years, so you can just keep this place safe from now on. Okay. Dugu Bo's eyes lit up, and he was about to feel happy, but then he felt a little unhappy and said. I'm keeping my shit. You are already so strong now. When the fairy grass grows again, how strong will you be? I just want to be able to cut it and beat you. A smile appeared on Su Chen's face, but he shook his head and said, in 100 years, if I still care about these fairy grasses, then I will be a waste. Oh, by the way, we agreed to have a competition before. How about we go out and have a competition now? As long as you can beat me, I won't come here anymore. Dugu Bo was a little moved when he heard this, and looked at Su Chen. Seeing that the corners of this little bastard's mouth were curling up, he couldn't hold it back, so he refused directly. Never mind. What I'm best at is using poison. You can absorb a 180,000-year-old soul ring, and you're not afraid of my poison. I really don't know how to win this battle. Su Chen pleaded with his face. Senior Dugu, let's have a fight. I need to test my strength now. If you want to beat me, believe me. This will be a record that you can brag about for the rest of your life. Dugu Bo. It is good. Let's go now. Today I want to see how good you are at pretending. Dugu Bo was also annoyed. If I defeat you, will I brag about you for the rest of my life? After I beat you today, I will laugh at you for the rest of your life. Dugu Bo dodged and flew out, and Su Chen also turned into a golden light and flew out. The two entered the sunset forest. Dugu Bo directly activated the martial spirit, the jade scale snake king, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 black and black. In the air opposite Dugu Bo, Su Chen also activated his martial spirit, Kuanpeng, purple. The 7th soul skill, martial soul true body. Dugu Bo knew about Su Chen's strength, and even more about his strange strength and attack methods. He directly activated the true form of the martial spirit without any help, a 30-meter-long green snake as thick as a water tank. Su Chen was not afraid of this. The Nye family's father and son could not see through the 80-meter-long and 40-meter-long swords. What was a 30-meter-long snake? The first soul skill, Golden Rooster Independence. Su Chen used his first soul skill, which was the only legacy left by Brother Ji. The original soul skill was a chicken foot falling from the sky. Now, in the sky, the huge Kunpeng made an attack gesture, and a giant golden claw appeared from below, grabbing the 30-meter-long green-scaled snake king. Bang! The age of this soul ring is too young, and it was broken off in just a moment. then Dugu Bo looked at the big kunpeng flying high in the sky, and felt annoyed. Damn. The Jade Phosphorus Snake King doesn't have the ability to fly. This bastard flies too high. How can anyone compete like this? Too passive. Air. 3 points of return to vitality. Su Chen had already pulled himself up, gathered strength in his hands, and faced the 30-meter-long snake on the ground with an unlimited cream pie. He will not be like that fool Qian Daolu, who is obviously the strongest in the sky, but just stays with Bo Saixagang in the sea, and Tang Gang on land. Boo hoo hoo dash. Bang 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 bang. This output directly caused Dugu Bo to twist his body and activate the snakeskin movement. Boy, are you ready to fight me? Su Chen heard this and shouted, okay, senior, have you ever heard of a palm technique that falls from the sky? Paling Cloud Palm. The 10th move, disaster will fall from the sky. Chapter 37 9 Heart Begonia Evolution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Chen turned into a golden light and rushed downward with all his strength. The cloud-dispelling palm had already condensed a shadow of more than 10 meters in size, falling from the sky. Dugu Bo was shocked and quickly used his trump card. The 8th soul skill, time freezing. Duang. After this fight, Su Chen was frozen in mid-air, but the giant palm had already slapped the green scale snake king hard, making a big hole on the ground. Puff. Dugu Bo spit out a mouthful of blood. The 9th soul skill. 3 elements returned to 1. As Dugu Bo unleashed his final powerful blow, Su Chen quickly extracted his strength to break away, condensing an energy water shield around his body. Soul Bone Soul Skill, Medusa's Gaze. Dugu Bo really let go, using all his trump cards and no easy moves. I saw Su Chen's body covered with water instantly turn to stone, but just when Dugu Bo Xinshi was about to focus his next attack, the petrified water barrier shattered, and a new layer of water barrier emerged to resist his 9th soul skill. How could this be? Dugu Bo felt a little confused and sighed sadly. Forget it, I give up. Su Chen flew down from the air and said, your soul bone skills are indeed very powerful, but my 3 elements unification is not a one-time soul skill. It is a shield for me to continuously output power. After you are petrified, I can just condense it into a new one. Dugu Bo shook his head and said, I don't understand. These things on your kid are too weird. I'm afraid even an average 95 level title Douluo can't defeat you. Let's go back. Su Chen nodded and said nothing more. In fact, this title Douluo is still not easy to fight. The 8 or 9 soul skills are too powerful, and it will take a lot of energy to resist. Although the 3 Yuan Gi is strong, it is not enough to defeat the title Douluo. The real power lies in the 100-year skill and the endurance of the blue buff 9 Yang divine art. Dugu Bo suddenly asked again, I remember that the 100,000-year soul ring has 2 soul skills. What is your other soul skill? Accelerated. Su Chen replied lightly. Dugu Bo was speechless on the spot. What kind of fighting spirit transforms into wings? A pair of golden wings. The speed is already outrageous, but it also has an acceleration skill. Damn it. You must be an agility-based soul master, right? If you combine this with your weird methods, it would be too dangerous. Su Chen thought for a while and replied, that's not true. I am similar to that angel martial soul. I am a hexagonal warrior. This is just my 2nd soul ring. The 2 of them flew back to the ice and fire eyes. Dugu Bo also became more and more tired as he thought about it. Everything about Su Chen shocked him again and again. While waiting for Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling to practice, Su Chen started Shuiqi's diary. Today is another happy day. After one night of practicing with jelly grass, I have successfully broken through level 20 and received the reward of a God-given soul ring. The 180,000-year-old soul ring is so fragrant. Unfortunately, my first soul ring is too tight on my crotch. Compared with my 180,000-year-old soul ring, it would bring tears to my eyes. Of course, the first soul ring is the only proof of Brother Chicken's existence. He is afraid that I will forget him. The peak produces false support, and the dusk witnesses devout believers. How could I forget? The fairy grass has been cut, leaving one for Dugu Bo and Dugu Yen, and one for Ye Lingling. I hope her martial spirit can break the restrictions. After all, after Ning Rongrong took Chilua Tulip, the Wuhun 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda was upgraded to the 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. Jiuxin Begonia should also be able to break through the limit. After Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling absorb it for a while, they can return to Tiando City. I don't know if Liena, a little fairy, has thought about me, but I left a fairy grass for her. Finally done, I can't help but go to Shrek to torture the scum, jia jia jia. The theme of today's diary is Fire Dance. This girl is just a supporting role. What story is there to write? Su Chen stopped writing here, feeling full of troubles in his heart. He only remembered Xiao Wu's name, and there was a boiling wind around him, and then it seemed to disappear. Isn't this embarrassing me, fat tiger? Su Chen. At this moment, Dugu Yen, who had finished practicing in the distance, flew over, jumped directly into Su Chen's arms, and kissed him hard on the left side of his face. Ben, that the crisp sound suddenly brought Dugu Yen back to reality. She blushed instantly and said, don't think too much about it. I am grateful for the fairy grass you gave me, which allowed me to upgrade my soul power to level 5. I am now at level 40. Su Chen smiled and nodded, patted Dugu Yen on the shoulder and said, the fairy grass can also speed up your cultivation. In the future, you can condense the pill beads to evolve into the green scale Snake King, and you will be a real genius. Okay. Dugu Yen nodded heavily, lowered his head with a red face. Dugu Bo was holding his forehead at the side, feeling tired. You are really good at soaking my granddaughter with my fairy grass, Su Chen. This time, suddenly the 9-hearted begonia flower bloomed on Ye Lingling's body, and she saw golden lines starting to grow on the flower, which was obviously an evolution. Okay. Dugu Bo's eyes showed surprise and he asked, boy, can Lingling's 9-hearted begonia really evolve? Su Chen nodded, thought for a while and replied. If Chilua Tulip is used for the 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda, it can evolve into the 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. It can also break the martial soul restrictions, and the 9 Hearts Begonia can also be used. Dugu Yen said with a face of joy, doesn't that mean that Lingling will have more than one skill in the future, and she can also assist? 9-hearted begonia, there can only be one successor per generation, there can only be 2 9-hearted begonia soul masters alive at the same time. Only if one dies can another one appear in the descendants, and there is only one soul skill healing. Su Chen thought about it for a moment, shook his head and said, I'm not sure about this. It shouldn't be an amplification aid like the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, otherwise it would be too perverted. Dugu Bo also nodded in approval. Originally, Jiuxin Haitang's treatment was incredible. If you want to let it perform boosting assistance, you won't give others a way to survive. The flowers bloomed, and along with a faint fragrance, a golden light shone, and petals with golden lines floated around them, turning into a sea of flowers. Su Chen. Ye Lingling rushed out from the sea of flowers, with tears of excitement pouring out. She threw herself directly into Su Chen's arms, stood up on tiptoes and kissed her bravely, a passionate wet kiss. One kiss is heavenly, sealed with a kiss. Dugu Yen felt sour when he saw it, and so did Lingling. She looked elegant and quiet, but she didn't know how to be reserved at all. You are a cool and quiet girl. Although I, Dugu Yen, look carefree on the outside, I will never be so impulsive. I can only kiss my cheek, and I, Dugu Yen, will starve to death and jump from here. Congratulations to Ye Lingling, for triggering the hidden mission reward and getting soul power increased by 10 levels. Dugu Yen. What's going on? What did Ye Lingling do? Seeing the two people hugging each other and kissing passionately on the field, Dugu Yen felt numb. I don't want you to leave. Inseparable from the distance. Missing becomes the C. Can't get in outside the window. This moment, not to mention Dugu Yen being confused, Ye Lingling himself was also buzzing. What did he do? Why did he suddenly complete the hidden mission and directly increase the 10th level of soul power? Oh my god! Could it be? Ye Lingling thought of this and instantly hugged Su Chen tighter and kissed him harder. Dugu Bo turned his head and complained in his heart, fuck. He's so young now, shit. He's so young now. Chapter 38 Ye Lingling gets a hidden reward. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, Dugu Bo also found that his granddaughter was looking at Ye Lingling with an envious look on her face, as if she wanted to come up and take her place. This made Dugu Bo confused. Yen, you can't help it too, why are you so horny? What? Dugu Yen came back to his senses, shook his head hurriedly and said, oh. Grandpa, what are you talking about? I don't care anymore. Woo. How could I not envy you, the 10th level soul power? Ye Lingling slowly came back to consciousness, her face already covered with tears. She looked at Su Chen affectionately and said. Su Chen, no matter whether you have a girlfriend or not, or how you treat me, I will never leave you in this life. My father passed away when I was very young. Grandma kept lying to me, saying that my father died hunting soul beasts, but I know that he wanted me to inherit Jiuxin Haitang and left by his own choice. We, Jiuxin Haitang, can only have one inheritor in each generation, but we can only have 2 living Jiu Xian Haitang soul masters. The moment I was born, my relatives were destined to make a choice. Either I would live a mediocre life, or a relative would die. Thank you Su Chen, today is the happiest day in my life. At this point, Ye Lingling had completely burst into tears and her tone began to choke. Su Chen held Ye Lingling in his arms, gently rubbed her head and comforted her. You've cried like a little cat. I'm here and I won't let you suffer anymore. Dugu Yen also kept wiping her tears. As her best friend, she didn't know Ye Lingling's thoughts. She only thought that this best friend was very mature and had a cold and taciturn personality. Now that I think about it, it is indeed too painful. Hey, Dugu Bo sighed softly and comforted softly. Girl, everything is getting better. Come tell us about the changes in your martial spirit. Ye Lingling wiped away her tears, saluted Dugu Bo and said gratefully. Thank you, Grandpa Dugu. Without your fairy grass, it would be impossible for my martial spirit to evolve. My 9-hearted Begonia has evolved into the 9-hearted Begonia Emperor, breaking through the limit on the number of martial souls. One 9-hearted Begonia can appear in each generation. Also, Emperor Jiuxin Haitang has an additional soul skill of resurrection. Although it has many limitations, it is also a very powerful magical skill. Point 3 people. Dugu Yen said excitedly. This means that in the past, I could be revived by you as long as I still had breath. Now, even if I am out of breath, I can still be revived by you. Ye Lingling nodded. It's almost the same, but it has to be just after death. And if it is poisoned, or the lifespan is over, you will still be poisoned after resurrection, and you will still die. Good guy. Su Chen couldn't help but lower his head and glanced at Ye Lingling in his arms. This was the one that shocked the mainland's #1 breast, the kind that can be fed in large quantities. Wow! Dugu Yen rushed over excitedly, not caring that Ye Lingling was still in Su Chen's arms. She squeezed in and said with a happy face. From now on, I will be lifelong teammates and good sisters with Lingling, and we will never be separated again. It feels so safe. Shut up, Dugu Yen suddenly thought of Su Chen and hesitated in his heart. 10th level soul power. I will fight with you today, sneak attack. Suddenly she kissed Su Chen on the mouth. Su Chen was shocked on the spot. What are you doing? Oops, Ye Lingling was also dumbfounded on the spot. If you didn't say you wanted to be a good sister with me forever, why did you kiss Su Chen? Dugu Bo was also dumbfounded. Damn it. My little cabbage grew its legs and ran into the pig's mouth. However, the truth was not what Dugu Yen thought. Although she succeeded in the sneak attack, she did not receive any reward. Dugu Yen was stunned. First kiss, this is my first kiss, why don't I have level 10 soul power? I will try again. Ye Lingling also had confused eyes. She understood what Duguian wanted to do, but after waiting for a long time, I didn't see any rewards from the system at all. Yanzi, you have suffered a big loss. Obviously, the reward cannot be stuck in a bug, and it cannot be completed simply by kissing Su Chen. Let's go. Dugu Bo couldn't stand it any longer and said, Yanzi has broken through level 40. We just need to help her hunt for the soul ring, and then we can go back to Qiando City together. Ye Lingling said a little shyly, actually, I just broke through level 40. Her current soul power is actually level 48. It was originally level 32, with fairy grass level 6 and reward level 10, but she can't say it yet. Su Chen looked at Ye Lingling in surprise, feeling a little puzzled. When the original Qiando royal team appears for the first time, Dugu Yan is level 38 and Ye Lingling is level 35. At this point, she should be around level 32, right? In addition to the fact that the fairy grass is at most level 38 or 9, how can it actually reach level 40 and catch up with Dugu Yan? Dugu Bo also looked at Ye Lingling a little strangely, and secretly made a mental note that the one Ye Lingling used was called Chilua Tulip, right? Yan, you started too late. Su Chen, this little bastard, is obviously a woman who takes special care of herself. Qiando City, Wuhun Branch Hall, Liena was so happy when she saw that Su Chen had chosen the fairy grass for her. Then he looked again and saw that Ye Lingling had gained level 10 soul power. Oh my god! The development of the two of them has actually caught up. No. As soon as Su Chen comes back, I will immediately explore him wholeheartedly and complete the martial soul fusion skill with him. This is not only a matter of rewards, but I also want to become his first wife. Hesitation will lead to defeat, decisiveness will be in vain. Liena gritted her teeth and made up her mind. Prince's mansion. The little angel was also paralyzed at this moment. This is another person who has completed a hidden mission, and another 10th level soul power improvement. Ah. These people are so disgusting. They obviously didn't know what was going on, but they had already taken action first. How did they get the reward? Or, send someone to call Liena and ask. Qian Renxue hesitated in her heart, and finally gritted her teeth and decided to send someone to the Qiando City branch hall to bring Liena for torture and interrogation. At the same time, women who have copies of the diary are also filled with envy. Really, we have never even met Su Chen people, but you are getting various rewards one by one. Is this really fair? Is there any royal law? Are there any laws? Wuhun Temple, Bibi Dong was also greedy now. Grass jelly, level 10 soul power. If he can get one, his strength will definitely be greatly improved. But, how can I get the fairy grass from Su Chen? If I really have a chance to obtain the 10th level soul power, how can I improve my level? I have reached the full level. And many more. Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling are together, and they are also the owners of a copy of the diary. However, Dugu Yan has not received the reward yet. It seems that this reward is not easy to get. Chapter 39 Beer Crayfish This friend is from the first family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Skyfire Academy. Xiao Wu was jumping angrily now. Damn it. Su Chen, you are a bastard. I finally became a lucky spectator, but you didn't give me any reward. Asshole. 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 Xiao Wu's chest almost exploded with anger. What happened to the supporting cast? Doesn't the supporting character have a story? I have so many stories, you damn guy. Are you writing about me? No. The more Xiao Wu thought about it, the angrier she became. She decided to go find Su Chen now. She wanted to tell Su Chen face to face that Xiao Wu must be a person with a story. However, the saddest person was the little witch who ran away from the Qibao glazed sect. Ning Rongrong was the first to go out because she wanted to have a little adventure outside, and her goal was Shrek in Soto City. Arrive at Soto City. After Ning Rongrong saw the contents of Su Chen's diary, she finally changed her mind. Wouldn't it be nice to go to Shrek instead of me to find Su Chen? So when she arrived at Soto City, she turned around and went back. planning to go directly to Tiando City to find someone. I just left the city, and I saw new diary content today. Su Chen has finished his work. Will he go to Shrek to find Yu Xiaogang next? Okay. Ning Rongrong thought about it. If he had to go back to Tiando City, he might not meet him on the way, so he might as well follow his original plan and join Shrek to wait for him. Just when she was feeling happy and feeling smart, she suddenly discovered the key point in the diary. Here comes the point. After all, after Ning Rongrong took Qiluo Tulip, the Wuhun 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda was upgraded to the 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. Jiuxin Begonia should also be able to break through the limit. Ning Rongrong felt that her brain was a little weak. When did she take Qiluo Tulip? I don't even know what it is. And many more. Su Chen has written before that all the Shrek team members have taken fairy grass. According to the original plot, he will get the Qiluo Tulip in the future, and then break the restrictions of the 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda and evolve the 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. But now, all the fairy grass was cut by Su Chen, and he gave it to Ye Lingling, the woman who owned the 9-hearted Begonia. This means that if the fairy grass is gone, my martial spirit will not be able to build the 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda. Wow, woo-woo. On the carriage, Ning Rongrong, who had just left the city, bursting into tears, heartbreaking. Su Chen, I hate you. I hate you so much, I hate you so much. You. Point 2 figures came from a distance, one blue, one pink. Aren't these Tang San and Xiao Wu who are going to school at Shrek? Xiao Wu saw a carriage parked outside the city in the distance, with heartbreaking cries inside, and her heart tightened. Tang San, there is a girl crying over there, she is crying so sadly. Come on, let's go take a look. Xiao Wu ran over quickly, jumped on the carriage and shouted, Hey! What's wrong with you? Inside, Ning Rongrong stopped crying for a moment, and then continued to cry loudly. Xiao Wu looked at the coachman, who also shook his head with a puzzled look on his face. Hey! Why don't you speak? Are you being bullied? I want you to take care of it. Ning Rongrong jumped out of the car, and the little witch became angry. She wiped away her tears and started to yell at people. Xiao Wu was also extremely angry. Why are you like this? I care about you so well, why are you so rude in your words? Tang San pulled Xiao Wu and signaled her not to meddle in other people's business. Xiao Wu also had a stubborn temper. She immediately clenched her fists and said, This person is so hateful. Sister Xiao Wu cares about her so well, but she is so rude. I'm going to teach her a lesson today. You dare? Ning Rongrong's expression suddenly turned fierce, and she suddenly asked, What did you say your name was just now? Humph. Xiao Wu snorted coldly, My name is Xiao Wu, dancing dance. Ning Rongrong's charming green eyes rolled, suddenly focusing on Tang San, and asked. Then your name is Tang San, okay? Tang San's brows instantly tightened, and his eyes were a little sharp. You know us. Although he was not going to die, he was obviously cautious. Ning Rongrong's expression became complicated. She looked Tang San up and down, and then looked at Xiao Wu carefully. 29-year-old weird uncle, 100,000-year-old rogue rabbit, it was really fate that I met them. They must have gone to Shrek together, right? Ning Rongrong extended her hand to show her kindness and introduced herself. Hello, my name is Ning Rongrong. Tang San and Xiao Wu ignored it, which made Ning Rongrong feel a little unhappy. What are you doing? To be polite to you, you are showing off your face again, Tang San said calmly. We don't know you, so we won't bother you. Xiao Wu, let's go. Xiao Wu turned around and left, and Ning Rongrong suddenly shouted. Hey! That Xiao Wu, I have something to tell you. Xiao Wu felt bad in her heart, but she still came back and looked at Ning Rongrong cautiously. Ning Rongrong crawled into Xiao Wu's ear and whispered. Bibi Dong of Wuhun Palace, master and disciple of Love Brain. Xiao Wu was instantly frightened, and whispered the secret code, Liena of Wuhun Palace, master and disciple of Love Brain. It's you. It's me. You. The breeze is blowing in the willows, may I ask you to on you? Beer Crayfish, Duan Yu is the same family. The two of them met my friend's secret code, and their relationship suddenly changed from the cold strangers before, to the extremely ambiguous look in their eyes. Tang San. Ning Rongrong took the initiative to hug Xiao Wu and said, "You are going to Shrek, right?" "I happen to be going to Shrek too, let's go together tomorrow." Xiao Wu nodded heavily. The bridge of friendship had been built. There was an inexplicable sense of belonging and trust between the friends. After all, they both knew many secrets and were also people who could share them. She took the initiative to hold Ning Rongrong's hand and asked in a low voice, "Then why were you crying just now? Why are you so sad?" But when Ning Rongrong heard this, his eyes darkened and he said, "You didn't see it today. Originally, my martial soul could evolve, so I." Xiao Wu heard this, thought for a while and comforted. "Actually, I think there is still a chance. At least you know the name of the fairy grass. Maybe he still has it." "Wow, it seems so. Let's go, Xiao Wu, let's go to the city together, I'll treat you to some delicious food." Tang San stood there quietly, seeing the two of them throwing him away happily. He couldn't help but feel a little angry in his heart. Who exactly is this woman? What is the purpose of getting closer to yourself and Xiao Wu? Ah. It's best if you don't make any plans, otherwise. Sunset Forest. Chen was lucky and soon met a soul beast suitable for Dugu. As for Ye Lingling, it was even better. Her martial soul has no soul skills attached, so as long as the year is right, you can just find one. In the afternoon, the four of them left the Sunset Forest and got on the carriage back to Qian City. Dugu Bo thought for a long time, looked at Chen and said, "Boy, can I trouble you with something?" Chen smiled lightly and said, "Although we had a business deal before, we are considered acquaintances. Yanzi and I are also friends. If you have anything to say, just say it." Chapter 40, Right and Wrong in Wuhun Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dugu Bo nodded and said solemnly, "Something is wrong with the situation in Doqing today. Emperor Shui Ye's health is getting worse and worse. Prince Shui Xing once came to see me, suspecting that he was poisoned. I also checked, but found nothing abnormal. Cannot. Chen decisively refused. Dugu Bo thought he was agreeing, but suddenly he reacted and said with a confused look, "Didn't you just say that you can tell me if you have anything?" Chen gently hugged Ye Lingling and said casually, "I remember telling you before that I am a prophet and can count the continents for 1,000 years, so there are no secrets in my eyes. Of course I know what's going on in Qian City." Dugu Bo asked hurriedly, "Who did it, him?" Chen looked at Dugu Bo quietly and asked, "Have you lived enough? Or do you think Yanzi has lived enough?" Dugu Bo looked ugly and frowned. "Prince Shueshing has saved my life. I can't just sit idly by and ignore him." Chen looked at Dugu Bo and said seriously, "I won't meddle in other people's business, but I come from a lower-class background, so naturally I prefer Wuhun Palace to be close to the people, and dislike the aristocratic class of the empire. If you are determined to serve the Qian royal family, you may end up in a tragic future." Dugu Bo remained silent. Dugu Yen and Ye Lingling were also very quiet. Chen continued, "There is no such thing as right or wrong or justice, only everyone's perspective is different. For you, the Wuhun Palace's ambition to help civilians awaken their martial souls threatens the status of noble families like you. From the perspective of my class, Wuhun Palace is a great benefactor. Without Wuhun Palace's help in awakening, we would be ordinary people all our lives." Dugu Bo looked at Chen, shook his head and said, "There are not many people in our family who are not members of the clan. I just can't stand Wuhundians' domineering behavior." Hee. Chen showed a meaningful smile and asked, "Then if you think about it carefully, is it the spirit hall that is domineering, or the aristocratic families of the empire? The nobles' exploitation of civilians is much more domineering than that of Wuhun Palace. The reason why they can't stand Wuhun Palace is because Wuhun Palace can really threaten them." Dugu Yen looked at Chen strangely and asked in confusion, "The most important thing in the empire is the army. Although there are many soul masters in Wuhun Palace, it can't threaten the empire, right? Su Chen asked with a smile. Then do you know Bibi Dong? Twin Spirit level 99 Ultimate Douluo, she is an orphan. Including the current golden generation of Spirit Hall, the average soul power of each person is over 40, but they are all orphans and commoners. Although each family's martial spirit inheritance is powerful, it cannot beat the 1 in 10,000 from the Spirit Hall. It's a pity. Some of the talents cultivated by the Spirit Hall were bribed in the end. Dugu said with shock on his face. What did you just say? Bibi Dong's twin martial souls, level 99 ultimate Douluo, Su Chen said calmly. Don't panic, she is level 99 which is good, but because of the Rakshasa test, she needs to retain her strength to resist the backlash of evil thoughts. She should only dare to use her strength around level 97. Dugu felt uncomfortable, thinking about those days. A peerless Douluo, Qian Daolu, caused panic in the entire continent, and now there is Bibi Dong, Wuhun Temple, how terrifying. Ye Lingling looked at Dugu and said seriously, Grandpa Dugu, can you please keep the evolution of my martial soul a secret for me? Dugu nodded, it's natural. I won't tell anyone about such an important thing. Su Chen rubbed Ye Lingling's head and said calmly. Even if your martial soul mutates, you can't threaten the status of the 7 treasures glazed sect at all. The Qibao glazed sect didn't get to where it is today by relying on support. They mainly have money. The special nature of martial arts is that they can find treasures and make money. They are not interested in money. Ye Lingling hesitated and said. I'm worried that if my martial soul's evolution becomes known, and everyone touts our Jiuxin Haitang as the #1 assistant, the 7 treasures glazed sect will definitely take action against us. Su Chen said thoughtfully. You can't hide this from now on. You can ask your family to move from Qindo City to Wuhun City. This way you can avoid the 7 treasures glazed sect and usher in better development. When Ye Lingling heard this, he also had an idea in his mind. Su Chen's heart was partial to Wuhun Palace, and he probably wouldn't watch the Wuhun Palace be destroyed. Dugu sighed and said. Boy, we got to know each other. I think Yan likes you quite a lot. If I really have to do something in the future, can I ask you to take care of her? Grandfather, Dugu Yan's face turned red, and she glared at Dugu and said, Su Chen has already said that if you want to serve the Tiando royal family wholeheartedly, you will die in the future. Then it's okay if you don't work for them. Su Chen nodded and said nothing more. Dugu looked at his granddaughter's eyes that were a little red, and sighed softly, Grandpa will not mess around. Shueshing has saved my life. After repaying him this time, I will resign as a guest of the Tiando royal family. Dugu Yan bit his lip and lowered his head in silence, his eyes filled with tears. Su Chen reached out and flicked Dugu Yan's head, and said to Dugu with a smile. Lao Deng, I have something to tell you. Dugu Yan has been spoiled by your title Douluo since she was a child. If you really die, she will be finished. After saying that, Su Chen leaned down and lay on Ye Lingling's lap. The silver-white stockings were ice-cold, giving people a different experience. The flesh on her legs is not as much as that of Helena. Although there is not much difference when she pillows it, it looks very silky to the touch. The contents of today's diary are written a little late. The main reason is that both Ye Lingling and Dugu Yan have broken through level 40 and have been looking for the soul beast for a long time. Fortunately, there is a fairy grass to lure the snake out of the hole, otherwise it would have taken a whole day to look for it. Why? I suddenly realized that this world was different from what I thought. I remember that according to the original plot, Dugu Yan had several levels of soul power higher than Ye Lingling. Now Ye Lingling is an assistant, and he actually has several levels of soul power higher than Dugu Yan. The key is that all of Dugu Yan's soul rings are purple. The first soul ring is 1,000 years old. How can you be more powerful than the pure Tang Buddha? In the words of Tang Buddha, you already have a way to die. Dugu Yan, it seems you have a big secret hidden in your heart. Dugu Yan and Ye Lingling's eyes flashed with panic when they saw this,
but when they saw Su Chen's eyes closed, they both secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Let me tell you here, Bingqin Yujie, Tang Shenwang and Tang Buddha, is the Tang San I have been talking about. Calculating the time, he should go to Shrek, right? As I write this, I really can't wait to see him, and that scumbag Yu Xiaogang. I want them to see with their own eyes the charm of a top villain, Jie Jie Jie. Ah wait, what are you writing in today's diary, Huo Wu? Huo Wu is proud, competitive, domineering, and extremely strong, but a true-hearted girl. She also has a licking dog by her side. She also liked Tang San. In this love continent, there is really no shortage of love brains and dog lickers everywhere.